Symbolism in the Glass Menagerie, a play by Tennessee Williams by Charlene Hawkwriter. The symbols that Tennessee Williams chose to use all reflect back on the characters' fight between reality and their dream world. Throughout this play, the characters are tempted towards illusion as they find their reality too painful. The different symbols represent different parts of the family and their battle. Some of the symbols that are used are the glass menagerie unicorn, the picture of the father, the fire escape, the movies, and Jim himself. All of these symbols go back to the main theme of the story, which is the characters' fight with reality. Laura has a set of glass figurines that her mother calls menageries. Her favorite is the unicorn. The unicorn is the truest symbol of Laura. Laura is described in the play as having a fragile, unearthly prettiness that comes out in her. She is said to be like a piece of translucent glass touched by light, given momentary radiance, not actual, not lasting. This shows the battle within herself. She has what Tom refers to as serious shyness. The father leaving took a toll on her just as much as it did on her mother and Tom. She withdrew herself from the world and is living happily in denial with her little glass figurines, instead of dealing with the pain and rejection that she feels from the situation. Glass breaks so easily, no matter how careful you are. I chose this particular quote because it really does say a lot. Laura is crippled, but her mother refuses to call her that. She insists on saying that she just has a small defect. Laura is just as emotionally fragile as the glass is. She has such serious anxiety that she physically gets sick when she is in a situation of having to be around other people. From the chaos and the abandonment that she has experienced in her life, Laura just really becomes breakable. I'll just imagine he had an operation. The horn was removed to make him feel less freakish. Now he will feel more at home with the other horses. This really describes how Laura was feeling. When she was in high school, she had braces on her legs, which she really felt made loud clumping noises every time she walked. She was always very self-conscious and just wanted to be like everybody else, like most high school girls do. But she was just not just physically crippled, but also emotionally. She feels a lot of pain from being different and just wants to be normal. Like the unicorn having his horn broke and fitting in with the horses, Laura dreams that her physical and emotional ailments can be healed, so she can be the same, just like the unicorn. She lives in the false reality that by some chance, things will just somehow get better. There's a fifth character in the play who doesn't appear, except in this larger-than-life photograph over the mantel. I chose this quote because I feel it really just says everything that needs to be said. The picture hangs for all to see, bigger than life. It's a symbol of the past. It's a constant visual reminder of the loss that their family suffered when Mr. Wingfield left. A tragic event that no one in the family seems to actually have let go with and to have really dealt with at all. He's the main cause of the family's abandonment issues and the reason that they all really do have such a serious battle with reality. Oh, I can see the handwriting on the wall as plain as I can see the nose in front of my face. It's terrifying. More and more you remind me of your father. He was out all hours without explanation, then left, goodbye, with me to hold the bag. This quote is Amanda playing on Tom's fear, the reason that he sticks around. She is using the haunting past of his father to try to guilt him into changing his ways. This guilt and fear is what keeps Tom from dealing with the reality of his life. The memory of Mr. Wingfield is Tom's excuse to need an escape from the world that he's living in. The apartment faces an alley and is entered by a fire escape, a structure whose name is a touch of accidental poetic truth, for all of these large buildings are always burning with the slow and implacable fires of human desperation. The fire escape is included in the set, that is, the landing of it and the steps descending from it. This is like a totally perfect quote to explain the significance of the fire escape. The fire escape is a symbol for escape. It's, in a sense, a porch. It's where Tom goes out to smoke, but it's more than that. It's a place Tom goes to get away from the reality when it's all becoming too much for him to handle. It's the escape from the world. A place that his thoughts can take on a new life and he can make his escape plan. The fire escape is an escape from reality for Tom. It is also an escape for Laura and Amanda. They use it as an entrance into their own little world rather than an exit from it. It is still an escape from it, but it is like a door opening in a different direction for them instead of Tom. Even when Laura tripped and fell on it on her way to the store, I think it was kind of saying that she can't make it in the normal world without tripping and falling. People go to the movies instead of moving. Hollywood characters are supposed to have all the adventure for everybody in America, while everybody in America sits in a dark room and watches them have it. This conversation that Tom is having with Jim really shows his intentions. Tom spends much of his free time going to the movies. Night after night, he tells his mother he's going to the movies. He eventually tells her he goes because he needs more adventure in his life that he's not getting at work. Going to the movies really just symbolizes the adventure that Tom is lacking. It's his momentary escape from the reality, a way for him to live out his adventure that he just really is missing. There are many times that Tom claims he is going to the movies, but instead he's out drinking the night away. Amanda knows what her son is doing and calls him out on it from time to time. The movies is a way, it becomes code for Tom going out drinking until he's oblivious to the pain that he's suffering. Once again, he's hiding from reality and what he calls going to the movies. Once again, it's a connection to his father. He is showing that he is following in his father's footsteps and foreshadowing what's yet to come. Jim is a different symbol for all the different characters in the play. He symbolizes the future for Tom. He calls him Shakespeare and plays into Tom's fantasy world. I feel that Tom looks at Jim and sees his ambitions and senses that there really is more beyond the world of, his fire escape. To Laura, Jim represents the real world. She has fond memories of him from high school. He talked to her, and the way he used to call her blue roses. Him being there to her symbolizes her leaving her fantasy world. He's the normal man, for sake of argument, and this is what is expected for her future, for her to move on and get married and be with this normal man. And the short time that he does spend with her, before telling her that he's engaged, he seems to pull her out of her little shell. She even dances with him. To Amanda, Jim represents the days of her youth. He's a gentleman caller, which she has fond memories of having 17 of in one day. He also represents a future for Amanda, though. He can provide and take care of her and Laura once, inevitably, Tom leaves. Jim is hope. Because I believe in the future of television, I wish to ready up right along with it. Therefore, I'm planning on getting in on the ground floor. This is what Jim says to Tom, about his future. He himself symbolizes something better. He holds on to his past. He was an amazing singer and won a silver cup in debating in high school. His aspirations also symbolize the future and where the world can go. He is working and going to school. He's studying public speaking and radio engineering, and is getting in on what he calls the ground floor of television. He's given himself something to work for, and in a sense, his goals are the future. His goals symbolize what the future is, and he sees that big picture. The means which Williams has used to give form to the visions are symbolic rather than literal. His play about the man who came to dinner and failed to satisfy the expectations of two neurotic women depends not so much upon plot or character as upon undercurrent of illusion. A range of secondary associations which, instead of being foreground of dramatic action, serve as a background of ironic commentary on the essentially static surface of this memory play. I chose this quote because it definitely sums up the play perfectly. You know, even though Williams used many different symbols, including the glass menagerie unicorn, the haunting picture of the father, the fire escape, the movies, and of course Jim, they all revolve the idea of the family trying to hide from reality and escape the pain. And that is the main purpose of it. And that brings us to my Works Cited page. Thank you for listening, and have a good day.